Hey, and welcome back to the Talos Principle. Today, more puzzling. We just had like a really great game inside of a game. Towards Jerusalem, find and finish a lost work interactive fiction to... Okay, I can't even read the whole achievement there, it's too small. And doesn't actually, it gets cut off. Anyway, I got an achievement for that, which is great. It's very sweet. And I'm gonna go to the place I wanted to do like last time. Wait, we did read that one, right? Without creative, independently thinking and judging personalities, the upward development of society is as unthinkable as the development of the individual personality without the nourishing soil of the community. Okay, interesting quote. Do I agree with that? I mean, first of all, development of the individual personality without the nourishing soil of the community. Yes, I do think that we take very much after our communities, like our values and stuff are like kind of taught, right? It's like very rare that like someone just comes up with like completely new beliefs, I guess. Like, look at all the billions of people out there, like, even at this point, right? Like, how many of those have like vastly new ideas when it comes to like their idea of like how things should work, right? Like I'm not saying that like people don't have like ideas, but they generally come from somewhere, right? Like they are iterative. It's generally not like a thing where you just come up with like a completely new system of like how the world should work, for example, or like how your personality is going to look like, right? There's a lot of like copying people we enjoy seeing, for example, right? Like when it comes to like I say like society or like community, but there's also like the whole thing about like role models that you might not actually personally know. More thing now than it was like in the past, but I can definitely see like even like in the past 100-ish years that there were like role models in like books and stuff. Like before then it was like harder and harder, right? Like the more you go into the past, the amount of people you actually knew became smaller and smaller, like comparatively. And also the idea that you do need independently thinking and judging personalities to develop society. I also do agree. Like, if we pretend that the society has like one idea, right, and this is like kind of where it's going to be kind of at a standstill if you're only following the community, right? Like, while it is important that the person develops from like said community, to develop the community, they actually have to go against the grain, basically. They can't just be completely following it, because otherwise there's not going to be change. To be fair, it doesn't have to be like upward development. Sometimes it's also downward development. But, that's a case-by-case kind of decision, right? Like, or like a thing that you can check out. At some point, you're going to develop in one direction. It can only happen if there are like people who are already different, right? Anyway, this is where we found the pieces. Let's go over here. We don't have the cube here anymore, but that's fine. Let's solve some puzzles. There's a nice statue here. I want to see if this is like a new one, but I do think that this is similar to the ones that we've already seen. Don't know what you're holding there, but hey, doesn't actually matter that much. I didn't actually pay attention to the title. Let me read that again. Colliding beams. Ooh, colliding beams is certainly something I don't like hearing. Okay, we have some red here. Huh. Where do you want to go, though? Okay, we have like the blue one here. Wait a second, I do have an idea. Like, we can just put you here, right? Yeah, you're going to break the red laser, which is nice. Like, we did learn that lesson before already, but it wasn't like, too well established, I guess. Now that this is broken, we can go through here. Where do I connect? We could get a red one through here. Huh. And what are you doing? This is for later. Okay. This is for the star piece. I don't need that yet. Good to know that it exists. And that we can find it here. This is like the second one that we see in like the second puzzle. Which is always nice. That means that I have not missed anything yet, I hope. And you're just sitting here. I mean, it is a nice garden, Okay, then. I bet we need, like, the red laser at some point. Or... Like, we can't shoot through here, right? Oh, wait, we can. Wait. can. I can't even pronounce it right anymore. We can absolutely do that here. The issue being though, wait, I can connect to you. And there should be an angle for that, right? Yeah. But the issue being that the orb is probably going to touch that every once in a while, yeah. So I need like a second connector that's probably going through there somewhere. Is there a way for me to connect to over here somehow? I don't think so. Like we would have to have like a connector over here, and would have to be able to see the other one. So I definitely I'm missing a connector if that's the case, which I'm not too happy about. We could also get like a red laser, but why would I need a red one? That's like kind of... Oh wait, there's... Okay, I do know why we need the red one. Figured it out. So we need to connect to you. There's a gate through here, so that's nice. I'll go over there. We should be able to just pick up the other connector. A good friend, the laser pointer, and connect to you and to you. And I just need to find the window again. Okay. This gives us the third connector. Now I need to basically do the same thing that I did before, where I blocked the laser at some point. Probably a later point to get through here, because like we have this one, right? Huh. Can I even do that? We do have the blue one over here, right? I can put you here if I wanted to. Like to block the red laser. Let's start with that. I just need to figure out like what I want to do even. And we can shoot through here. But we can't see you from here. That's an issue. That's not even the right position. Should be like around there for now. And you should be... I mean, ideally I would like to put you like here somewhere, but you can't see that one. Right? I would need like one more. Oh, wait a second. Connect to you. Connect to you. All of you are now connected. And then I can connect you to you as well. You know what? I just have to figure out how to get there. There's like a purple gate here, right? Yeah. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That's a really neat way to do that, like to use that mechanic, because we've not done so before, right? It's like the important bit. And there's a star, okay. That's nice. Now I need like one more piece that I can put in there. Where did I open the gate? Oh, over here. Spider! Hey! You're still fine? How lovely. Okay, now the question is, how do I bring stuff here? Because like we do know that Spider was like banned before, but like now they can communicate with everyone. Why are you blinking? Is that like just a reflection? Wait a second. Exit? It starts when I get there. I don't know if it's like a light thing or if there's like actually something blinking. Show threats. More! Farewell Atlantis. They did want to write about that, right? I do remember that. And we do have like a little bit of time, so let's do some reading today. Discussion 335 is like a few later, the asset. Done. Sitrap. Sitrap? Wait. We are losing public opinion. Most of our number have been extricated. Okay. We are losing Gehenna. When he came to my house, I found myself powerless to resist. Do you mean you lacked the will to refuse, or that Uriel exerted some other power over you? Hard to confirm. It felt as it does. It felt as it does to be led into battle. It mattered not what my personal beliefs were at the time. I only knew I must comply. Interesting. It is yet possible that with enough support we might change Uriel's mind, or otherwise overcome whatever power he wields over us. I will continue to do what I can. Is the asset deployed? Lamb is set to auto-respond to destabilizing comments and upward supportive comments. Okay. We did have Lamb here, right? Like I said that Lamb didn't do it. I guess Lamb is actually a bot then. Which is interesting. Anyway, I mean, they're all... It sounds so weird to talk about that if they're like all technically like digital robots, right? I just thought it was... Yeah. Anyway, where do we have like the list of like all of the NPCs? Lamb was level 3, but we don't know much about them. Have the program undermine Uriel directly. I don't want to take any chances. Okay. They are getting really aggressive here. Broken stuff? Can I restore that stuff? Ooh, there's like some ASCII in there. So that's something though that important thing was to have. Did not know what the important thing is to be. The true perfection, something lies, ASCII, as okay, this is definitely not English anymore. Arbol, unknown. Yeah, it's definitely translated. Last time we didn't get Chinese, but this is a lot more here. But what the man is. Okay, that's too bad. I'm not gonna translate this here. I'm gonna be completely honest. If I find something, editor's note. I don't think I can properly translate this. This seems a little bit too broken. But if I can, you know, here it is. Or I guess there's going to be a note that's saying something like, nah, not translatable. At least not easily. The Outer World or Farewell Atlantis? Let's talk about Atlantis. The end of Gehenna is getting close. You know that what we build here matters to me in ways that are just too complicated to fit in a post. But perhaps I can say it like the blacksmith does, by creating a world. It's not as big or as detailed as I wanted it to be, but I like the thought that even though I will probably be no more than a memory, a static set of facts about someone who once existed, this little work of interactive fiction might continue to be functional, even in whatever place our memories will soon ascend to. Maybe someone, someday, will play it and get a glimpse of who we were, but mainly I made it for you, all of you. It's too late for praise or feedback or discussion, so I'm locking this thread. But if you want to talk, just talk, then let's talk while we still can. Farewell.dlg. Let's go for it. Connecting to foreign module. Close your eyes. I really love that they're always saying like close your eyes, right? Like, let's imagine this. Farewell Atlantis, a story of things ending. Credits. Written by Lilith, dedicated to Meg for everything. Special thanks to Mr. Mulciber. Mr. Mulciber probably because of the knowledge about Atlantis, right? To be fair, they did actually post about Atlantis. For some reason I had in the back of my mind that I still wanted to do that, but we did read about it. And dedicated to Meg for writing a lot of the stuff, probably, but also everything, right? I mean, Meg did a lot of creative work here. Choose your character class. Ooh. Poet, physician, farmer, scientist, magician. I mean, I'm a wizard, you know? I'm gonna go for magician. You are in your tower on the cold northern shores of Atlantis, looking out the window at the vast and icy ocean. Your mind is troubled. You've just woken from a prophetic dream, but you can't remember it. Perhaps you should seek answers in the books of ancient knowledge, or perhaps you should just let it go. The future will tend to itself. I mean, I like to seek answers. That's just me though. You go down the stairs to your archive, where you keep all your books and scrolls. It takes you some time, but eventually you find an ancient text that describes a spell for the recovery of dreams. Oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, try to spell. like just in general. Like, have you ever woken up like from woken up and we were like, oh wait, I just had like a great dream. I just don't remember what it was about, or like a terrible one even. And you're just like, wow, it's like terrible. And now you waste like all your energy just trying to remember why it was terrible, or why it was great, or why it was confusing. I have somewhere just like remember like singular scenes and like even like years later, and I'm like, if only I could remember like all of it, that would be amazing. Anyway. You return to the top floor. The spell requires a window. You prepare the runes, speak the incantation, but at first nothing seems to happen. Then you feel a mysterious energy enter the room, and out of the window you see a light. Okay. It's a city. A city out there on the sea. Yes, you remember this from the dream. A bright city, a city of light, an eternal city, and its name is Suddenly a voice interrupts you, breaking the spell. Excuse me, O great sorcerer, but the king of Atlantis has requested your presence. I guess I have to. The messenger is indeed the servant of Poseidonus, the king of Atlantis. You've been summoned to court, he says. His manner is friendly. Very well, it is the king, after all. I would still ask first before I follow. I am sorry, the messenger says, but I may not tell you. Let me reassure you, however, that you are not to be punished or anything of the sort. King Poseidonus merely wishes to hear your wisdom as regards an important matter. We should not tarry. What was the name again of the king in the underwater adventure? I don't know, I just feel like, I know that Poseidon is someone, but like... Is it Poseidonus as a network attached storage? It would be funny if that's like the joke in there. Anyway, follow. The messenger takes you to his chariot, and together you swiftly ride to the great palace in the center of the capital. It is a splendid place, full of statues, banners, and marvelous contraptions, and you can't help but wonder what you are doing here. While your king is valuable in its way, you do not usually attract the attention of kings. You know, but I have magic, so I guess sometimes you just need like a court magician. You enter the throne room and are immediately overwhelmed by its size and splendor. Its most impressive feature is a great mosaic on the wall behind the throne, showing the history of Atlantis. 1,000 years of culture somehow embodied in a single titanic work of art. Examine it. I mean, if you didn't have like the chance before, the sheer amount of work this must have taken. Every stone carefully selected for shape and color, placed perfectly to complement the others. So many small elements working together to evoke a larger whole. What an accomplishment, and what dedication it must have taken. Welcome, friend, the king of Atlantis greets you. Bow before the king. My bowing is great. No, do not bow, my friend. You are a mage. Every day you deal with the powers greater than I can imagine. Whereas I am but a king. Yeah, you lowly king. Go crawl into your space. And today, it is I who must beg you for help. Your knowledge may be your only hope. He hands you a scroll. I mean, I can apparently read. You read the scroll with growing horror, because you know that what you are reading is true. You felt a change in the energies. Maybe that's the origin of your prophetic dream. Atlantis is sinking. Not someday, not in the far future, but soon. Terribly soon. Confirm the truth. The king sighs. I was afraid of this, he says. But I had hoped you were wrong. Oh, we were wrong, not you. You are obviously infallible. You are a wizard. That somehow... but it is pointless. What is. This is the world we were born into, and that is what we must accept. The end of Atlantis is upon us. Curse the gods? Nah, what can be done? Like, I'm, you know, a man of action, I guess. Or like, thinking about action. Tell me, what is the heart of Atlantis, the king inquires. I mean, it is the people who hold the knowledge and created the art, right? The heart of Atlantis is its people. Oh wait, that's me. The heart of Atlantis is its people, you say. The arts and scientists exist only to serve the people. Poseidonus nods. Then it is they who must be saved, and you will help save them. How? There's not much time. Sages discovered our fate only this morning, and they are certain the final earthquake is nearly at hand. If there had been more time... He stares out of the window wistfully for a few moments, then gathers himself. There is no time for what-ifs, I'm afraid. Here, take this, the king's golden scepter. The sailors will obey you. I don't think if it's so close that I have... Like, I would normally question this, but I don't think I have the chance to question this. And sometimes you have to accept, right? Like, if you are being put in charge of a group project and the deadline is near, you better there make sure that you are actually finishing the project. If it has to be by yourself, right? Yes, my lord. Poseidonus laughs. I am not a lord, my friend. I do not believe I am even a king. I am simply another mortal, trying to find meaning in an indifferent cosmos. My final act, perhaps the only true choice I ever made, was to select you for this task. My time's over. You must go now. Head for the harbor. I mean, you know, that's certainly a choice to make. Escorted by the same messenger who brought you here, you head for the harbor. Take the chariot to get there quickly, walk to see this little city one last time. I probably would say the chariot. You get on it, like, this is like, again, the question, is it worth it to wait? In this case, like, the time is so short. I would love to get nostalgic in those moments, but I don't think if the time is, like, so much of the essence, like, the others are not going to have the time if I'm taking my time. Is it worth it to shorten, like, their time by, like, tenfold, probably, or, like, whatever much it is? Like, let's imagine I take up, like, half the time to look at stuff, right? Like, half the time and then half the time to work. That means that all of the others don't have, like, half the time to look at stuff. And there are, like, a lot more of them than there are of me. Anyway, you get on the chariot and thunder down the streets. No time to think about anything else now. It's all entirely unreal. Everything you have known is about to sink under the waves. But you must focus on what has to be done. That's the simple truth. All that matters right now is survival. Not your own, but of at least some part of Atlantis. The earth rumbles, and you are going too quickly. The chariot spins out of control, and you are thrown into the streets. The messenger lands next to you. Help him up? The messenger seems badly injured and dazed. He tries to get up, but falls down immediately, screaming in agony. You don't know how to help him. Call for help. I mean, the messenger is also part of Atlantis. You call for help, and some people in the nearby tavern hear you and come running. You tell them to get the messenger to a physician. Even as you say the words, you wonder, what's the point of the messenger, and these men will be dead soon. Yet it feels wrong to treat them as they were already so. Again, the idea, like, how much is it worth to shorten someone's life? But, like, they have a better chance like that, right? Like, should we have them suffer? They don't even know about what's happening, right? Yeah, they are going to waste, like, a bit of their time to bring them to a physician who would be working at that moment anyway, and, okay, they are wasting a little bit of time in their bar, I guess? Is it worth it? Probably. Hurrying as much as possible, you arrive at the harbor. 12 great ships are waiting. Their captains see the golden scepter you carry and kneel before you. They have tears in their eyes, but you sense their determination. Load the ships. Load, we could probably also speak. You know what, I'm thinking about it, we should have probably spoken, maybe they had, like, a better plan. You want to save the people of Atlantis because people are what matters. That you are certain of. But who gets to live? The sailors' families? Famous individual? Whoever's closest. Like, fairness would be whoever's closest, which would include, like, the sailors. Not necessarily their families, though, which is sad, right? Like, they have to do the work. But I think now wasting time to, like, decide who gets to be saved is probably a waste if the time is limited. You have to be practical. The island could sink at any time. You tell them sailors to just get anyone in the vicinity of the harbor. This causes some chaos, as some of them try to make sure their families get on the ships. But you don't see another way. The ships fill up with Atlantean citizens. The ground shakes more and more. Get ready to set sail. The ships are ready, one of the captains says. It is time to leave. You look back at the city and wonder what happened to the messenger. Where will he be when the waters come? Will he be in pain? Will he feel betrayed? Set sail. The time has come. You set sail away from Atlantis, away from everything you've ever known. The city seems quiet, at peace. Maybe you're the one who is dying. The island is almost faded completely from view when the earthquake strikes. The land seems to crumble and vanish under the water, a whole world disappearing as if it had never existed. Within minutes, no trace remains of Atlantis except the 12 ships and the choices you made. Sail onward. Days pass. Terrible waves shake the ships, but these are the best ships in the Atlantean fleet, and they do not sink. In time you pass between two great rocky outcroppings into an area of calmer sea. Time to find a new home. One day you come upon a beautiful fertile land where a mighty river flows into the sea. You decide this would be a good place to settle, if only for now. As you look at your new home, you suddenly remember the prophetic dream you had in Atlantis, and you realize it was the city that will stand here someday that you saw, the city that will rise from the remnants of Atlantis, a city that will endure until long after you are gone. And on another day that city too will come to an end, like Atlantis did. But perhaps the citizens of that city will be prepared, and they will fly away into the sky in their ships with painted sails, so the legacy of Atlantis will live forever amongst the stars. You can hope. You can only hope, I guess. Open my eyes. Honestly, this is like another big game. I don't actually know how the changes affect me. I really want to play this again. I know this is locked, but there's too much for me to like just ignore. I guess it's going to be like another longer episode where I'm just checking out like all of the options of this game, because there's like so much I just want to check out. So let's play again. I'm probably going to cut out like a few bits, even if I'm yapping in between, depending on like how long it is. Story of things ending, yeah. Begin. This time I would like to be someone else, like a farmer, just like an average person. You're outside, on your farm, which lies near the western shores of Atlantis. You've been working for several hours, preparing for the harvest, when you suddenly come across a strange stone embedded in the ground. I mean, it's a strange stone, right? Like, sure, let's dig it up. It's not just a stone. It's part of a column. And the more you dig, the more you find. It's like there's a whole building buried here, right under your farm. It's impressive. I mean, it happens. No, you begin to realize it's more than just a building. It's a city. Wait a second. Yeah, the western shores of Atlantis. Huh. I want to say, like, Atlantis is definitely... Like, this isn't like a psych moment where you are... I guess just suddenly finding the actual Atlantis, rather is below Atlantis, and you're living on Atlantis already, so... Anyway, it's a city older than Atlantis? How's that even possible? But you know, it's true. You feel like you're about to have some kind of insight when a voice interrupts your thoughts. Excuse me, my friend, but the king of Atlantis has requested your presence. Sure? The messenger is indeed the servant of Poseidonas, the king of Atlantis. You have been summoned to court, he says, his manners friendly. Very well, it is the king after all. Can I ask him? Probably a similar answer, right? I'm sorry, the messenger asks, but I may not tell you. Let me show you. Yeah, there's not the punishment. Okay. Follow the messenger. The messenger takes you to his chariot, and together you swiftly ride to the great palace. Yeah. It's a splendid palace full of statues and banners, a marvelous contraption, and you can't help but wonder what you are doing here. While your work is valuable in its way, you do not usually attract the attention of kings. It's true. I mean, you are a farmer after all. Can I look at the mosaic? I could, but let's look for a king. Because we did that before. Like, the text seems to be very similar. I'm just I kinda expected like different changes. I guess this is just like where it starts, right? In all his splendor, the king of Atlantis seems so small a figure that he almost vanishes into the background, despite the fact that he is a large, well-built man. Welcome, friend, King Poseidonas greets you. Bow before the king. No, do not bow, my friend. You may be a farmer and I may be a king, but we are both citizens of Atlantis, and perhaps your knowledge is more valuable than mine. For you know the ways of the land, of which I know little, though I am sad to be its master. That is why I called you here, you see. I require the wisdom of a farmer. He hands you a scroll. So I guess we are all... I mean, to be fair, like when we played the wizard, we were kind of in control. Are we now in control? Are we just like part of the people in control that are important? You read the scroll with growing horror because you know what you are reading is true. You felt the tremors, the land has shifted. That's why you found that strange stone earlier today. Atlantis is sinking, not someday, not in the far future, but soon. Terribly soon. Yep, confirm it, because apparently we know. The king sighs. I was afraid of this. he says, but I'd hoped we were wrong, that somehow... but it's pointless. What is. This is the world we were born into, and that is what we must accept. The end of Atlantis is upon us. Okay, I feel like most of the text is going to be very similar. Let's say there's no hope. I'm just gonna test, like, I don't think that there's, like, a specific combination that I'm looking for. Just because, like, you know, time is of the essence. Like, my time. I'm just gonna go for, like, some options here. And my friend, Poseidon says, do not surrender to despair. It cannot help us. So why allow it to control us? No, we must deal with this rationally, even dispassionately. Fair enough. Ask what can be done. Tell me what is the heart of Atlantis, the king inquires. The art, sure. The heart of Atlantis is art, you say. Its stories, its painting, its sculptures. They are truest expression of who we are. Poseidon gazes up at the mosaic above his throne. Then that is what must be saved, and you will help save it. Okay, are we bringing this one to the boat then? There's not much time. The sage just discovered our fate only this morning, and they are certain the final earthquake is nearly at hand, yeah. Going through there, wistful for many moments. There's no time for what ifs. Why me? Why not you? Why a king? Why not any other citizen? As I said before, you possess more wisdom than I, who was made a king only because of my birth. So true. At least this king realizes this. I am not a lord, my friend. Yep, we had that before. So select you for the stars. Head for the harbor, okay. This time I'm gonna walk. You decide to take the winding back streets that lead to the harbor. It's not the fastest route, but it's a chance to see the city one last time. You still can't entirely believe that any of this is happening, but some part of you needs this. The streets are dark, but the darkness is interrupted by laughter and light, spilling from taverns and homes. The people of Atlantis love to spend that nights with joy. Some are playing music, others are playing games. There's food and drink and lovemaking and storytelling under the stars. The earth rumbles, but no one pays much attention. Small earthquakes are common here. Well, time to hurry. Hurrying as much as possible, you and the messenger arrive in the harbor. 12 great ships are waiting. Their captains see the golden scepter you carry and kneel before you. They have tears in their eyes, but you sense their determination. This time we are going to speak to the captains. You speak briefly with great conviction, telling the captains how important their task is. If they fail now, it was all for nothing. If they succeed, they will have saved the heart of Atlantis. Load the ship. You give the order to start loading the ships with all the great Atlantean art that can be transported. Even as you do, you realize how ridiculous this is. You can only save the tiniest fraction of the astounding art your people have produced. But what art to save? Here's the thing, like, rationally thinking, if I actually wanted to save the art, I would probably save the books, mostly because they're more transportable. It's sad about the painting and sculptures, but the books also may hold knowledge, right? But, like, I would say an even balance in this case. You try to save a little of everything, but it's an impossible task. Who are you to judge what gets saved and what doesn't? And yet, there is simply no time to debate what is best and most important. You have orders, but you don't really have a plan. The ship begins to fill up with a random selection of artworks. The ground shakes more and more. Get ready to set sail. The ships are ready, the messenger says. It's time for you to set sail. You're not coming? You ask, surprised. I never expected to. There's not enough space on the ships. We could also stay behind, right? Say goodbye. I'm gonna stay behind this time. I'm gonna say goodbye another time. It's not easy to convince the messenger to take your place, but he does not want to die. You give him the scepter, and suddenly you feel much lighter. You know how it's going to end now. There's not enough time to go back home. Your life will end here in the city. Where do you want to spend your last moments? In the palace? Watch the ships take off? I would say in a tavern. Let's be with people. You sit down in a small tavern where people like to sing and dance. Deep into the night, you get a nice cup of wine and raise a toast. To Atlantis, everyone cheers. When the end comes, it is sudden. The earth screams like a dying god. The waters come crashing down. Atlantis sinks beneath the waves, and you sink with it. That's certainly a choice. Open your eyes. We're not done yet. You can't close me out of the game, okay? I'm gonna play this game, and I'm gonna play it to completion. You can't stop me. Let's begin. This time I'm gonna play as scientist, sure. Just because I feel like there are like a lot of changes just because of like these big, right? There are like a few changes or like a few choices where I feel like there's going to be a decent amount of change with new text. You're in the old you're in the Temple of the Owl. For some reason I completely mixed that up in my head now. You're in the Temple of the Owl, the greatest scientific institution in fair Atlantis, pursuing your work in discovering the secret laws of the cosmos. Your latest experiment is about to begin. Started. The gears of the machine you've built begin to turn. Water flows, the aether rises. It seems to be functioning. Perhaps now you will gain the insight into the true nature of reality. Suddenly, a blinding light appears within your machine. You take a step back, startled. What's this? Just keep it running. The light grows stronger and you have to approach the light. You step closer to the machine and look into the light. You can't help it, it's hypnotic. There's something in the light. It's a city. You see a city, a great city, all aglow in the light. In a city called... And this is again like, seeing the future city probably. A voice speaks behind you, and as it does, the machine suddenly shuts down. Excuse me, Professor, but the King of Atlantis has requested your presence. Sure, let's talk. King, after all, finish that and follow. Chariot, enter the throne room, and look for the king. Bow before him. Read the scroll. Again, I feel like there's like a lot that's repeating, which fair enough, right? Like I'm not gonna complain about that. I feel like a lot of these narratives are more made to play them once more than 10 times to get like every single option. But that's not me. Curse the gods! My friends, you know very well there are no gods, only forces we do not yet understand. There's no point in surrendering to this position in this moment. What can be done? Choose knowledge. This kind of fits with like, the scientist thing. The art of Atlantis is our knowledge of the cosmic laws. You say, without it, we could have achieved nothing. Poseidonos walks to the window and looks outside the glory of the city. Then it's knowledge that must be saved, and you will help save it. Sure. Not much time. Earthquakes, Golden Scepter. Yes, my lord. You're probably... like, I'm going to go for why me. Possess more wisdom. Okay. Fair enough. It's probably going to be the same one every single time. Simply another mortal. Final access. Yep. You must go now. Head for the harbor. This time... Let's get there quickly again. This time, just be rude and ignore the messenger. Keep going. You just don't have the time. You leave the messenger behind, lying on the streets. You realize you didn't even know his name. I'm sorry, but you would have died in a second anyway, because I wouldn't have saved you. Hurrying as much as possible, you arrive in the harbor. 12 gates, rating, yeah. And we are going to speak to the captains again, just to see if there's something new. Yeah, the same. This is also why they will save the heart of Atlantis, not like something specific. The people of Atlantis are lost, one way or another, but perhaps their insights into the nature of the cosmos can be saved. Perhaps they can be their final gift to the world, so that others can continue seeking the truth from where the Atlanteans left off. Or at least you hope so. A sailor walks up to you. I must ask you something, he says. We understand why it's important to save these documents, but many of us have families here in the harbor. Please allow us to save them, even if it means we can take fewer books. In this case, I would say yes. A few fewer books, fine. The sailors have overjoyed, and you cling to the joy that you consider all the knowledge that will be lost because of you. Like, I can just read those real quick, right? And like, if I'm on the ship, just throw away the books that I already know about. I can rewrite them. Have you betrayed the cause of humanity or defended it? You're uncertain. To be fair, there's also like the unfairness that only the sailors get to, but say, sometimes, if you have to be unfair, at least be positive about it, right? Get ready to set sail. Ships are ready. It's time to leave. You look back at the city, wonder what happened to the messenger. And will you be in pain? Will you feel betrayed? Who knows? Time has come. You set sail away from Atlantis, away from everything you've ever known. Island is fated. Within minutes, no trace remains of Atlantis. Yeah. Sail onward. Days pass. Outcroppings find a new home. One day, you come upon a beautiful fertile land. Yep. New home, you suddenly remember the city you saw in a dream. And on another day, the city too will come to an end. Okay, this is like basically the same ending, I think. Wait, the citizens of the will be prepared will have been granted insight into the cosmos that the scientists of your time had not yet discovered, and they will fly away into the sky. Yeah, okay. Very similar. I still want to check out like the other classes. Gonna be completely honest, this is like the big thing that I still want to try. I don't know if you can fail. I don't think you can. Begin, physician, and like a poet. Farmer we already had. Physician? I mean, maybe you can save the, you know, the guy. Wait a second. You're in the Great Hall and Temple of Serpents, the great hospital in all of Atlantis. Tending to the sick and the injured, a gentle artificial waterfall murmurs soothingly nearby. An old man gestures for you to come closer. Perhaps he requires your aid. As you approach, you see that the old man is quite pale. Hear me, physician, he says. My death approaches. Will you sit with me while I pass? I could have him sleep, but let's sit. You sit with the man for some time. He tells you some story about his life. He was a sailor on a ship of painted sails. He explored all the eastern waters, seeing many strange lands, but he never found enough time to start a family, and now he is alone. Slowly his breathing begins to stop. Then suddenly his eyes widen and he stares at you. I see a city, he says, and dies. I mean, to be fair, if they're alone, like, I feel like the sleeping poison would have been like really rude at that moment. Anyway, like extra rude. Say prayer or close his eyes? Close his eyes. You get up and approach the bed, but a voice interrupts you. Excuse me, oh physician, but the king of Atlantis has requested your presence. Sure. You've been summoned to court. Follow the messenger. I hope I've closed the eyes at least. Takes you to the chariot, enter the throne room. Look for the king. He's very small and puny and tiny, but we find him still. Yeah, read the scroll. As you felt the effects of what described many patients coming to you with injuries caused by small earthquakes. Okay, the reason why you see that is always different, which I think is interesting. What can be done? I would say choose the people, right? Like as a physician, I would probably choose the people. And maybe like the sciences could be reasonable. I feel like in this case, right, like physician, any sort of doctor probably would, like in this case, save the people, right, like as many as they can. So much time. Discover fate on the morning. Yes, my lord. And trying to find different cosmos. Yeah. Head for the harbor. Chariot. Maybe I can help the messenger. Like once we get knocked over. Examine. Twisted his leg and seems dazed. However, your expertise as a physician, you managed to help him get back and keep walking. He just has to make it to the harbor. Hurry. Hurrying as much as possible, you and the messenger arrive in the harbor. 12 great ships are waiting. The captains see the golden scepter. Yeah, okay. Load the ships. Want to save them. Let's go for the famous individuals. Just because I want to see if there's like a new text. You send out sailors to get the greatest artists, thinkers, scientists, and mages in the city. Some of the sailors are crying, others are angry. They want to save their families, but they respect your choice, or perhaps merely the power of the scepter you carry. Either way, many of the city's greatest citizens end up on the ships, but not all. Far from all. The ground shakes more and more. Right, it's like, we talked about like the idea of like literally, right? Like we talked about the idea of building like an arc and like who to save with Milton / the Serpent in the base game. And this is like kind of what I'm thinking of. It's like, depending on like how you see it, like I would argue, and it's generally smartest to bring like the people, like I don't know if famous individuals is like probably the right thing, but at least like experts in their field would be reasonable. And then you would actually pair it all with like random people afterwards. Maybe even just like this, like the people nearby, the families, mainly just because, let's say you have like the best scientists that you find, right? But then you have like a problem that requires something that they are not experts in, right? Like you have a way higher chance of getting like weird random skills by just picking randomly, basically. Like I would argue, unless I already know the challenges in the future. But yeah, let's get ready to sail. Ships are ready. Stay behind, I would say. Or would I? Okay, I want to say goodbye because we've not done so before. Say goodbye. Heavy-hearted, you say goodbye. Goodbye, friend, he says. I am sorry you had to make this choice. No one should have to. Remember us. Having spoken, he turns around and slowly walks back into the heart of the city. And we set sail. Yeah, it's hard to make that choice, right? Like, especially for a leader, I probably spoke about this with the arc as well, right? Like, theoretically you want to save everyone, but you can't. Like, if you can't, you have to make those choices, and they are quite likely not the moral choices. But if they ensure the survival of, like, the people you are tasked to protect, is it not better to be amoral in that sense, but give them a chance to live in a future where they can make moral choices, right? I don't know. Maybe it might be the right decision, right? Like, I probably said it the same way back then, that, like, just because something is moral doesn't make it the right decision in a moment, I think. Not necessarily. It's just that they happen to align, hopefully, often enough. I would argue, right? Like, I couldn't come up with, like, other examples also outside of, like, these extreme apocalypse kind of examples where I would say, hey, being amoral might be the better choice. Anyway, say our word. But it also has to do with, like, your morals in general, right? Like, maybe, you know, if in your set of morals there isn't, like, the idea that human life is precious, then probably murder would be fine for you, right? Anyway. We talked a lot about that, like, prior to this game, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Days pass, yep. Outcroppings, find a new home. A good place to settle, if only for now. You look at your home, remember dying man. The city you saw will stand here, the city that will rise from the remnants of Atlantis, a city that will endure until long after you are gone. And on another day that will fall, and... quietly, wait. That city will come to an end quietly like the old man, or in a terrible deluge like Atlantis. But perhaps the citizens of that city will be prepared, and they will fly away into the sky on ships with painted sails, and the legacy of Atlantis will live forever amongst the stars. You can hope. I do like that there's, like, a slight difference there. Okay, there's, like, one thing that I still need to check. Technically there are a few more options. Play fair with Atlantis. Like, there are probably more options that I could be going for, but I'm gonna go for, like, one last one, which is the last class, which is the Poet. I just want to know, like, how they start, and then I'm gonna quickly go through and, I don't know, save the sailors? Maybe? You're sitting upon a green and pleasant hill on the island of Atlantis. The hill overlooks the sea. And before it stretches a vast beach where Atlantean children from the city of Luna are playing with their pet cats. Work on poetry, I guess. You close your eyes, focusing on sound of the waves. Words begin to form in your mind. A tale of a city that does not yet exist, but whose seed lie in every living city. A name comes to you closer and closer. You almost know it, the name of the eternal city. But then somebody interrupts your thoughts. Excuse me, O great poet, but the king of Atlantis is very important and he wants to talk to you. Also, since my theory is still that the second part is basically going to be like, hey, you know, the people outside of Gehenna, like not Gehenna, but the simulation, right, like uploaded to a mechanical body. Maybe they're going to decide on a name now for that city, right? Because, like, Gehenna is sinking. Alright, talk to a messenger. I'm just gonna quick through here real quick. This is, like, at least, like, my theory. It would be interesting to see. Again, going to play the second game. Like, I've already bought it, like, a year ago at this point. I'm definitely going to play it, but for now it's probably going to be still quite a few months until I reach that point. And the through room, yeah, overwhelmed, size and splendor. Look for the king, who is really tiny and puny. Oh yes, he's so small I even have to bow down to actually see him. So puny. Confirm the truth. Wait a second. You read the scroll with growing horror because you know that what you are reading is true. The truth of it is everywhere. In the sea, in the clouds, in the land. Atlantis is sinking. Okay, apparently you just know because you're a poet. What can be done? Choose the people. The arts and scientists exist only to serve them. Yep. It must be saved. Yes, my lord. And that for the harbor. Take the chariot? No, let's walk. We are very human, like close to humans again. Streets are dark, darkness interrupted by laughter. We have that before this time. We can load the ships. The sailors' families first. You tell the sailors to get their families. Many are relieved. Some of them are crying because their families are too far away to save. Still, you feel this was the only option your soul could bear. Slowly, the ship fills up. The ground shakes more and more. Get ready to sail. Ships are ready. Stay behind. I think this is the last way, a poetic end. This time I would say... We could watch them take off, but I would say go to the palace and talk to the king, maybe? Poseidonas greets you like an old friend. You sit down on a beautiful balcony overlooking the city and discuss the history of Atlantis, its struggles, its victories, its accomplishments. You wonder whether the great mosaic in the throne room might survive underwater, to be found in some distant age of the future. Maybe, the king smiles. After all, the world is full of miracles. When the end comes, you have the perfect view of the waters rising up. Technically, there's one last thing I have to check now. Okay. It was a sweet end, but there's one other end I want to do. I'm just gonna go for... Who is going to be the one staying behind? Begin... doesn't actually matter that much. Let's go for the poet again. Very poetic as an end. I could also play with the children if I wanted to. Sure. With like some option. I don't know if it's really that important what we choose. I feel like there are like some minor things, but like the episode's really running long, so I'm gonna do that as last thing. You go down to the beach and play with the children. The children are overjoyed. Adults are much better at throwing things for cats to catch. Even as you're laughing, however, a poem starts forming in your mind. It concerns a city, which is a symbol but also a possibility. And the name of the city is... Suddenly, an adult voice interrupts your thoughts, and you lose the name of the city. Excuse me, King of Atlantis and stuff. Yeah, let's follow me, you know? Follow. It's fine. Enter the throne room. Look for the king. Or was there something else with the mosaic that I forgot about? I think. No, there wasn't. And he hands the scroll. We learn about it because the clouds, everything is the same. And I would like to ask what can be done. I'm gonna get the scepter. I'm gonna choose the people. How? For now... Ooh, yes, my lord. Yes, you are not lord, but we can walk to see the city one last time. Like, I need the messenger to be alive, which is why I'm going this way. As a physician, I could have technically taken the chariot, but I don't think it's like that much quicker, like in text. Load the ships. We have to save the families again. Feel like this is the only thing we can bear. Get ready to set sail. Trade places with the messenger. And watch them take off. We sit in the harbor as the ships take off. The wind is gentle. The stars are bright. The ships have disappeared over the horizon when the final quake comes. And it's like nothing you've ever experienced before. The earth screams like a dying god. Sea rises up before your eyes. Atlantis sinks beneath the waves, and you sink with it. And this is the actual end. Atlantis sunk, and we stayed behind, apparently, to save just one more other soul. Truly poetic. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this probably long episode, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be seeing you next time. Till then, have a good one, and bye-bye.